Welcome to another episode of the Rock Fantasy Files. I'm here tonight talking with Jim Sinon. Or is it Simon or Simone?
Sinon.
He's a guitarist for Hudson Valley, New York's death metal outfit SICKBAY, who I had the pleasure of catching a couple of times. He recently brought some of his new album in to my store that you can pick up, and if you're in the Hudson Valley area, if you want to pick them up, you can pick them up at Rock Fantasy. And Jim, welcome to the show. I guess we can start off by telling our viewers a little bit about your band and why we did the show, because you have a new release out that came out in October of 2020. And welcome.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for having me. I don't know where the hell to look. Freaking Zoom shit.
Can you see me?
Yeah, there you are. Every time I talk, it switches back and forth. So new world. So yeah, so we our latest album released in October 9th of 2020, called Death's Cold Grip. It's kind of weird. We had not be able to do shows, not doing anything. So originally we had planned on releasing it in July.
Yeah.
We had a couple of release shows set up, one at the Loft in Poughkeepsie.
Yeah.
And Immortal Suffering was going to headline. We had 3 shows set up. One at the Loft in Poughkeepsie,
yeah,
one at Gold Sound in Brooklyn, and one at Cherry Street Station in Connecticut.
Okay.
And of course, they all got shut down. So it was going to be cool because we had all bands that we're friends with. Dissolve was going to do one of the shows. Sledge Wolf was going to do a couple of shows. Hell's Teeth, another local band. So
cool.
That all got shut down, obviously.
Yeah.
And the whole process of finishing recording, getting it all together was screwed up. But,
yeah, of course.
So it all got pushed out to October, and somehow we released it. We managed to do Cranium Radio did a release show on air, called in.
Okay.
And so that was cool. At least we did a couple interviews. Matt from New York City metal scene.
Okay.
Call in interview. So we got a little bit of something. And,
well, nice. It's nice to have you on my show, which is relatively new. We started last over the summer, maybe late spring last year, when we were held up in the house, as we still are now, and was talking about music, and figured, since you had the new album out and you brought some into Rock Fantasy, I'd like to have you on the show. What can you tell viewers about the band, other like what style of music is it? Because a lot of people watching tonight are all from all over, and they may not know. I know that you're kind of, I said you're a New York's death metal outfit. I feel it's death metal, but I also feel quite a bit of New York hardcore in there, a lot of breakdowns and stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of, it's some kind of hardcore death metal thrash stuff fused together. We don't fit neatly into any group or genre.
Yeah.
But I get it's more death metal driven. I think a lot of that coming out of this area, especially, there's so many good bands. There's so many good local bands. There's so many bands that come up out of the city, coming through Poughkeepsie over the years. I think our influence is just a lot of shit. There's everything from punk rock, straight to the extreme death metals. So all that kind of gets in there, I guess. And
yeah.
We're heavy. That's
yeah. So who are the current members in the band as we speak today?
As of today, it's me, Jim Sinon, play guitar. Tommy Peluso plays bass and sings.
Yeah.
And Joe Miranda is a drummer.
Okay.
So
you're 3-piece?
Yep, 3-piece.
Okay. Yeah, I'm counting. I got counting in my head today. About a snow day. I think I've been having a snow day since last March, so it feels like I'm in mine. I always call it a snow day because it's a COVID day and it's not snowing, but today it's actually a blizzard outside here in the Hudson Valley as we're taping this. I think they were saying we could have almost 3 feet of snow by the time it's done. I think we got 2 feet out there now.
Yeah, I got 2 foot. I live in Beacon. I got 2 foot.
Oh yeah, you're in Beacon. Okay. And how long has the band been around?
So there's been 2 versions of the band.
Okay.
Recently, 2017, we got together. Originally, we were a 4-piece from 2000 until 2004. it was myself,
Mhm.
Tommy. The drummer was Nick Nazak, and the other guitar player was John Mazurowski.
Okay.
We had played, same deal. We played local. We didn't do a lot of recording. We had it was supposed to be a 6-song demo. It wound up being a 3-song demo that we put out in 2003, I think. Then kind of things fell apart. The drummer left.
Hmm.
We tried a couple of drummers out, and then life happens, and we kind of moved along. Me and Tommy reconnected in 2016, kind of, and said, kind of bullshitted around, said, let's jam. We got together a couple of
Yeah.
times. And then in 2017, we said, well, let's look for a drummer. Let's jump back into it. So we found Joe, and we kind of just hit the ground running right from there.
Yeah.
We wrote a bunch of tunes right off the bat, recorded, and we've been going pretty full bore since.
Yeah, that's cool. And I've seen you guys at the Chance a couple times. Who are some of the bands that you guys got to share a stage with? Some national acts at I know I believe you were at were you on the Death Angel show there?
Nope,
Oh, you
not
were?
that. Nope, not that show. But we did the Nile Terrorizer show with All Out War.
Yes, that was one of the winding down on some of the. That was, I think, in November, like mid-November of 2019.
Yeah, 2019. We played a lot of shows in 2019. We had a pretty busy year. We did all in Poughkeepsie too. We played All Out War's release show.
Yeah, I was a part of that. Yeah, I was there for that setup. Outer Heaven was there from Philly, and of course my dog's going crazy in the other room.
So we played in the city, open for Immolation. That was a sick show.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's got to be awesome. Immolation's one of my favorite bands, and I'm good friends. And Alex is a regular on our channel here too, doing some of our panels and end of the years and stuff. So
Yeah,
Immolation. Where was that in New York City? What club?
Blackthorn 51.
Oh, okay. Yep.
So it was a killer show, and they're awesome dudes. They're like,
Oh yeah,
so
total professionals and totally kick your ass.
Yeah.
I was listening to some of your music today on Spotify, and we had a little discussion before we went live on how the newer album is not available on Spotify. They took it off for some crazy reason, but I was listening to a song called Pandemic, and I guess that fits well into our current times.
Right.
And what gave you the idea of writing that song? And when was that one written?
We wrote that in 2019. That was
Okay.
The album Dissonance that we released in 2019. And it was just a song we wrote, and then after the pandemic happened, we got all kinds of plays and clicks on it on YouTube all over the place. So
you were like Nostradamus almost, unfortunately.
no, I was like, good thing we didn't write a song about nuclear war or something would be fun.
Yeah, close enough. I think. Yeah. What got you? I guess what got you started in music? Did you have music in your family, musicians, or?
Not really. Just being a kid, growing up,
Uh-huh.
as a teenager in the mid '80s, just the whole metal thing starting. My dad had a guitar when he was a kid. He had an old Gibson SG that was at my grandmother's in the closet. And ever since I was a little kid, I'd bug him all the time that I wanted to play it. And when I was like 11, he told me I could have it. So I started playing it badly, And,
Yeah.
I started off, when I heard Black Sabbath, I was like, damn, this is
Okay.
This is it for me. And I just kept listening to the next heavier thing.
Yeah.
I just became a metalhead, I guess, early, and
Yeah.
rolled with it. Started doing in high school we did like bullshit bands,
Mm-hmm.
and then in the mid '90s, kind of got in bands playing out.
Okay.
So
What were some of the bands that you jammed with or were part of back in those days?
in the '90s, I was in a band called Carve for like 3 years.
Okay.
That was the drummer from the original SICKBAY was in that band with me.
Okay.
I was like from like 96 to 2000. We kind of left to start Sick Bay because we wanted to get, that was kind of like a thrash band.
Okay.
Thrash. I think most bands I've been in have had some sort of a heart. I like breakdowns. I like that whole.
Okay.
The tension, the build up, the breakdown. It was kind of like a thrash. I don't know how good the band was, but
Yeah.
I was in a band called Volatile and Christ and Stain before that.
Yeah, I think Volatile sounds familiar. I mean, I'm sure some of this went on at the Chance. I've been going there for, and not that you're probably the only place you play. I think of you. You're from Beacon, actually. Were you always from Beacon?
I grew up in Hyde Park.
Okay. And
My
of
wife's
course, and we used to have a little scene in Middletown back in the day. If you ever got to play overnight at clubs here.
Yeah, well, I played in when I was in Carver, we played. I don't know what it was called back then, but I see now it's like a storage unit place. It's like storage unit or something.
Fort Knox, right in front of it, used to be the Class of '57 or the Class or the Powerhouse. That might be the nightclub you're talking about. In the actual Classy Leather building, we're going way back. This is more in the '80s. There was a club that someone opened, an underground club, and Sheer Terror had played in there, and Whiplash did a jam up in there, and it was then it turned into Bent Circus's practice room. And then in later days, Coheed and Cambria used that building for rehearsals.
Huh. Well, this was like a bunch of rooms set up off a hallway. Was it?
So yeah, you must have played up in there.
Yeah.
You had to go up a fire. Did you have to go up a fire escape to access it?
Yeah, I think so.
So you didn't play the club in town. You played the underground club. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I didn't even know that was still going on in the '90s. I was thinking that was more of an '80s thing, but who knows?
We had to run like extension cords and lamps and shit in the room. It was cool.
So I guess that's interesting. I guess you kind of answered this question already. I've written down what album or band changed your life, and you kind of said Black Sabbath.
Black Sabbath. I've couple, like, see, the first time I saw Celtic Frost, I saw them open for Anthrax in like, I don't know, 86, 87, something like that.
Okay.
And I was like, dang, this is like serious shit. And I started listening to a lot of the heavier stuff, a lot of the, you know, Norwegian Black Death type stuff.
Okay.
And then
for sure.
Obituary, when I heard Cause of Death, that was like, that's still like my favorite album. I think I love it. Every note on it is like, you know, that's the pinnacle of metal for me. It's heavy.
Have you guys got to do any do any gigs with Obituary?
No, it's definitely on the list. I'd love to.
Okay.
We played with a lot of, I guess past couple of years we played with like a lot of New York death metal bands, you know, Malignancy, Dehumanized. So
some of that like the slamcore, deathcore, death metal, yeah, for sure. The New York Necroptic Engorgement, who are from Middletown and part of that scene too.
Yep.
And I guess we already mentioned your bands, and let's talk. Maybe you want to talk about some of the songs on the new release, stuff that you would say if somebody asks, "Hey, what should I check out?" You know, on or maybe even the last one, since that's on Spotify. If somebody wants to go and check out Sickbay, by all means.
No doubt. It's on Amazon, YouTube. The new one is right now. I'm trying to get back about Spotify. I don't know what that's about.
Okay, so you can still check it out on YouTube for now or Amazon. All right.
Yep. Yeah, it's on Bandcamp. We have a Bandcamp page. We have merch page set up with our Bandcamp. We have a Big Cartel.
Nice.
All that shit. Yeah. The last album, I think Punishment of the Sick World, Where I Rot. You know, there's songs towards the end of the album that are pretty heavy. Are the ones. Okay. Those last two songs we wrote during quarantine, which was weird because everything kind of shut down, and we had 7 songs. Pretty much wrote. Still needed to get some lyrics and stuff on them.
Yeah.
And we were supposed to go into the studio in April, so we're already kind of rushing, and then
Yeah.
everything shut down. And we were like, fuck. So we said, well, that's the first time I messed with Zoom. We tried to Zoom to try and figure out to write.
Yeah.
Just a shit show because of the noise and everything. It didn't work. So we were like, well, now what do we do? So we started recording ourselves with an iPhone and send it.
Okay.
We'd send it, play the recording, and then recording it, us playing with the recording. We just kept layering it, and somehow we managed to write the last 2 songs like that. And we cleaned up the 7th song, which was Visions of Blood. And we didn't play those songs together until we were in the studio, and somehow it all just worked. It just
Cool.
clicked. Recording this last time was very just kind of chilled out. We recorded Dissonance in 2019. We were playing out a lot, so we'd be in the studio, set all our shit up, do some tracks, leave, pack all our shit up, do a couple shows. So we were in and out. Everything was hectic. Everything was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
This time was kind of cool just because, we were there. We had our shit set up. We had a good time, and there was no pressure. We didn't have to do anything. We didn't have any reason to record. We were doing it because we wanted to. So it was definitely cool. I think Death's Cold Grip is heavier than the first 2.
Okay. Yeah, well, I heard some of it, and I listened to maybe today I've got pandemic Alzheimer's or pandemic dementia. I was thinking that was your new album, but then you said, well, no, that's not the new album because it's not on Spotify now. And I was like, okay, there's 2, and I should have done a little more research, but it's been a little hectic.
Yeah, and I guess Spotify did some big purge where anything that they thought was a fraudulent plays, they just deleted the albums.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, somehow we got in that mix. I'm like, we don't have enough people listening to us to have
Yeah, you never know.
somebody's radar. Like, nobody gives a shit about us. Like,
You're not getting hit with millions of viewers yet.
Yeah.
Well, maybe this video will help you gain a couple more players or viewers or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, no doubt. We're
But it's something
we're
to
actually
do. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Right. We're doing a live feed video, probably we were supposed to do it the middle of March, but now it's getting put off a little bit.
Okay.
So it's like a pre-recorded live feed show.
Okay.
Cool. Ed Farsi from Armageddon Productions is putting it together.
Oh, Ed. Yeah. Yeah, Ed's a good friend. Yeah, Ed's been around the scenes since day one, hanging out with Primeval and whatnot in Middletown and Sepultura and everything when they were in my store. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, it's
so
great.
where are you going to record that at? Is it already recorded?
No, we're recording it probably within the next month or so, something.
Okay.
So all the details aren't 100% ironed out. But
yeah.
we're psyched because
I was talking to someone that they ought to get a band or 2 in the chant somehow safely and just do a streaming thing out of there or something. But,
yeah.
Lynn is on Hudson Valley Square show with me. She was over to the chance a couple of weeks ago and mentioned it. So I was like, yeah, you should get somebody to play in there and do a gig in there. It's one of the local bands that plays there all the time.
I'm sure everybody wanted to do it. Just,
I guess Frank's band would have the inside move on that, right?
Right, yeah, no doubt.
Let's just pray that all these clubs, or at least ones that we hold near and dear to our hearts, survive this. It's just a horrible time we're living through, especially if you're any kind of an artist or a musician, or anything, an actor or musician or anything that's performs in front of an audience. It's just a pure nightmare. This pandemic is.
It's tough, and on a smaller level like us,
Yeah.
In 2019, we were doing a lot of shows when we released the album, and you could see all our plays on Spotify going up. We do a show, see everything jump. And this time, releasing the album without shows, like you could definitely see a difference. And I was like, well, a lot of people want new music and stuff, anyways, but it's hard to get it in front of people if you're not playing out. So the whole thing is kind of weird.
Of
But
course, you know, I speak with Brian Slagle occasionally that, you know, that owns Metal Blade Records, and there was many albums that are done that they didn't put out, and you know, and even stuff that they waited till fall last year to put out, thinking it would be better. And there's some stuff scheduled for this year, but there's other bands in a holding pattern because they really need to tour off the album to make any money. So
right.
with Spotify, you're not making any money on whether
No.
you're Sick Bay or maybe even some of the more established touring bands that are kind of household names aren't making much money on Spotify. So
You get like a fourth of a cent per play or something ridiculous.
yeah. And, someone was talking. Oh, one guy from Van Halen was just talking about it the other day. How, you know, you used to get $1 a record when you sold it back in the '70s. Now you're getting like fiddly. You know, that's why everybody's selling concert mugs and concert tickets and meet and greets for thousands of dollars of the established bands to make their road money.
Right. And anybody like us isn't doing it for money because
No, of course.
do it because that's what we do, you know. And
Yeah.
even through all this shit, we've already started waiting for the next album. Like,
Yeah, cool.
so we got 3 songs together.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So we got 3 songs already written, and
All right. Well, let's hope that, you know, we'll touch base again, and I'll get the word out when you do that live stream. Maybe I'll talk to Ed also on that. And anything you'd like to add to tell everybody, and maybe just ways you kind of talked a little bit about already, how to find Sick Bay if they're looking for Sick Bay to check you out, of course.
yeah, we're on pretty much everything. I mean, all social media sites.
Yep.
Bandcamp is where we have a merch set up. We have a big cartel page also.
So you can buy the CD off of there. If you're around the Middletown area, if you want to pick it up, you can stop in at Rock Fantasy because Jim was nice enough to drop them off a week or two ago.
Yeah, nice enough to let us put them out.
Oh yeah, appreciate it.
So we're search Sick Bay or Sick Bay Metal. We pop up all over the place. So
cool. Well, it was a pleasure to have you on tonight. And if you guys like what you saw, please take a second and subscribe to the channel. We do try to interview, and if there's any other bands that are watching or people would like to be on the show, please reach out and send me a message. Rock Fantasy Record Shop is our Instagram, and that's the way to get in touch with me. Or you can contact us through the website www.rockfantasy.com. And we'll be doing a Led Zeppelin episode on Thursday with our panel of musicians, and we will also be talking to another local Hudson Valley band, Last Pharaoh, this week. So hope everybody is staying safe and rock on. And good night, Jim, and say goodbye.
Later, brother. Thanks, man. See everybody.